Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today is Fake or Real Thursday, with the craziest stories that just can't be real. My husband did the unthinkable, and now is trying to get me to stay. Our first post comes from the TwoHotTakes subreddit. Posted by Tricky Thing 4371. I never, in a million years, thought I'd be writing this, but here I am, in a situation. My husband told me he's in love with my sister. He said he feels for her the same way he feels about me. I only found out because I saw he'd sent her 10 Snapchats, then deleted them, and then sent 2 more, apologizing for something that wasn't clear in the messages. I knew I couldn't just not say anything, so I confronted him that night after dinner. I asked why he was sending messages to my sister in the first place. He went silent and then admitted that he loved her. He said he still has me in his heart too, but she also had a place in his heart. I was hurt, mad, and confused. He went on to say he tripped over a stone and messed up, and that he really wants to be with me. I asked him if it's positive that he wants to be with me. I understand we're young, and if he needs time, we can talk about it. Okay, based on her response, I'm gonna say this story is fake. He was adamant that this wasn't the case, and I just dropped it. True, he's in love with your sister, but he said everything's fine, so why make a big deal about it? Coincidentally, the next day, my sister came to me crying, saying she really needed to talk to me, and what she was going to say would break my heart. Note, my sister lives with me and my husband. Anyway, so she basically went on to tell me that 3 nights ago, while she was sleeping on the couch, my husband grabbed her ass and kissed her on the neck and forehead. I felt so immensely sad for my sister. What he did is an effing crime. And then, the night before, he admitted he was in love with her. I know I can't stay with him, so I immediately went home and packed up my son, 2 years old, and my things and went to stay with my mum. My husband didn't even apologize. He just kept saying he tripped over a stone and his mind led him to do something stupid. I just can't believe he did this to me while I'm pregnant. He said he's learned from his mistake and that he'll never do anything like this again. He's fogging my mind. It's been 4 days since I found this out. After he came over to see our son and tried to talk me into coming back, I decided I couldn't let him get into my head and I applied for an apartment. Is it too soon? I know it's not. I just need some advice and to hear an outsider's perspective. Okay, personally, I think this one sounds super fake, but let me know if you think I'm wrong. Her husband says he's in love with her sister, gropes her sister, all while she's pregnant, and her first response is, well, we're young. Do you want to be with my sister instead? I'll understand. Seriously? School denies me my prescription. I told them I want to call a parent. Little did they know. Our next story comes from the PettyRevenge subreddit. Posted by Royal Relief 5553. My mum fought long and hard to gain custody, but my dad was a good Christian with more money, and he didn't fraternize with black people. Given our location, my mum didn't stand a chance. She finally got custody when I was old enough for my opinion to matter. I switched from a fancy, extremely competitive, snobby private school to a local public school by choice. I dyed my hair green and put a gay pride sticker on my car. Based on where I was coming from alone, I was a C student at the fancy school, so it was not my grades. I was placed in all the honours and AP classes the school offered. Teachers didn't know what to think of me. I had green hair. This was considered absolutely shocking at the time. and my friends and I were bullied for many things, including this. My bumper sticker was definitely the most controversial topic in the entire school. But I was quiet. I came from fancy school, I paid attention in class, and I was earning straight A's. Thankfully, although most of my peers shunned me, my teachers realized pretty quickly that I was a decent enough kid. I had a problem with migraines. I finally got a prescription for them, non-narcotic, and I took it straight to the nurse's office. Because the district had a zero-tolerance policy, and being in possession of even Tylenol would get you expelled for drug possession. Nurse, you're going to get the doctor's signature on this form. Me, why? It's a legitimate prescription with my name on it in the original bottle. Nurse, condescendingly, we're required to have a doctor's signature before we can dispense medications. Me, giving 0 Fs. And how do you think I got the prescription in the first place? The nurse decided to impress upon me the fact that I was powerless here, and there was absolutely nothing I could do except comply. I left the office stressed because I didn't have access to my migraine medicine, and of course ended up stressing myself out into developing a migraine. Call me a Karen, but I felt entitled to go to the nurse's office and be dispensed my medication. And so, I politely requested it be given to me. The nurse obviously told me no, so I asked for the principal. Got the assistant principal, AP, who simply reiterated the district policy. Then it occurred to me that it was within my power to get my medication because I had a secret weapon. So, I had to be sneaky. Me, I'd like to call one of my parents. This phone call wasn't intended for my dad, a financial consultant. It wasn't my mum, who worked in sales and advertising. Of course, I wasn't calling Stepmonster. But my stepdad, on the other hand, just happened to be our region's most famous radio talk show host at the time. And he was on the air for another 2 hours. The AP brought me the phone book. Those existed back then. And I looked up the radio station's number in the yellow pages without the AP figuring out which business I was calling. I called the radio station and got the front desk. Of course, lots of people call them. I asked for him and got absolutely nowhere. But I knew they would interrupt his show and he'd take the call if I told them I was his daughter. In all of my life, I've never had a situation that warranted me calling him at work. I was hoping he'd take the call while on air, but he didn't want to air what was likely private business, so he put commercials on while I explained the situation. I then handed the phone to the AP, trying to suppress a poop-eating grin. The AP didn't realize he was talking to Bill Jones when he dismissed my concerns, and even suggested that I should be denied my medication simply due to my pants, which I'd been wearing half the year without a problem, but apparently it was a uniform violation that day. Withholding medication is a punishment for a uniform violation? Are they trying to get sued? AP basically explained that's just how it is, and tough luck, and didn't realize the poop he'd just stepped into. He hung up, dismissed me, and walked off, looking pretty self-satisfied at winning his little power trip. I went to class, feeling victorious. I hadn't won yet, but I'd played my cards, and I knew how it'd turn out. Stepdad got back on air and immediately changed the topic to the ridiculousness of the district's medication policy. The phone lines lit up. Turns out, lots of people wanted to air their complaints. I was sitting in class, migraine kicking in, but I was feeling satisfied that their lack of respect for me and all other more powerless students was hitting the fan. I timed it. 45 minutes after I was arrogantly denied my legally prescribed medication that I needed. The AP came into the classroom I was in, knelt down beside my desk and whispered, "Hey, you want to come take your medication?" Fallout, even more fun because the school desperately wanted to expel me. But while I 100% can be a troublemaker when I want to be, evidence this post, I never did anything for which I could have defensively been disciplined for. They had nothing on me. I knew it, they knew I knew it, and they knew they couldn't get away with making stuff up because Bill Jones. All of my friends were seniors, and the school admins didn't realize until the last day of school that I was a junior. I could see the panic in AP's eyes. "AP, you can take one summer course in English and you'll be able to graduate early." Me, "Absolutely not. I haven't submitted any college applications, and most competitive schools I'll be applying to require more than the basic minimum to graduate. I'll be here for another year." "AP, would you like to take your high school classes at the community college instead? You get high school and college credit." This was a barely heard of program at the time, but they wanted to get rid of me so badly that I got to rack up a year's worth of college general education credits during my senior year. They tried to F me over, so I F'd them back, and since they couldn't punish me, they rewarded me just to get me to go away. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this one's gotta be real. No way someone would make up something this absurd. The school tried to prevent you from taking your legally prescribed medication because of your pants. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.